tight, uneasy feeling you get when you look at a credit card bill or your bank statement where your shoulders come up to your ears, maybe your jaws clench, and you realize that your spending really isn't in alignment with the life you're trying to build? You're not alone. Most budgets are based around shame, guilt, or spreadsheets. But what if you could create a spending plan that actually reflects your values, your goals, your priorities, that's uniquely designed just for you? And it makes you feel good about your choices. Let's look at how that's possible today. Have you heard of the 50-30-20 budget? This very common framework for building a budget really doesn't seem like it works anymore. Housing has become so expensive, inflation's out of control, and healthcare costs are through the roof. How are we supposed to fit all of those things into a 50-30-20 budget? Not to mention, budgets often ignore our emotional relationship with money and our desire to just spend guilt-free every now and again. What about the cultural conditioning, family obligations, gender roles and caregiving responsibilities, and taking care of our own health and well-being? Plus, don't even get me started on the pink tax. Why do things marketed towards women need to cost more? There's no reason a pink razor should cost somewhere between 30 and 50% more than a black razor. Plus, there's this insane pressure to keep up with our experience, constantly doing our nails, our hair, facials, maybe it's Botox, lip flip, whatever it is. It really adds up. And are we just doing it all to impress somebody else? Most budgets feel restrictive, not empowering. So what if we reinvent your budget on your terms? Here's what I suggest. Determine your values, goals, and priorities. This is so fundamental to everything I do that I start most of my workshops this way. What does that mean? That means you start by figuring out what your values are. Do you care about family, generosity, friends, learning, and growth? What about your goals? Are you trying to find a new job, move to a new city, move across the country, move to the other side of the world? Do you have goals to build a family? And what about your priorities? Often life is about trade-offs, and so we're going to have to choose. Do I value this more than this? How does this priority compare to something else? Then you can also ask yourself, what do I want more of in my life? Freedom, creativity, security. These become the categories you optimize for. So for example, maybe you're like me and you don't care about getting your nails done every 2 weeks. And so there opens up options of what to do with that money. Maybe if you value generosity and friendship, that means you take a friend out to dinner once in a while. Or maybe you put it in a high yield savings account and in a few months you'll be ready to take that trip. Or you invest it and you open up the opportunity for yourself to have a sabbatical in a few years. When we get clear on our values and priorities, as well as our goals, we start to see new avenues and new ways to make things possible. Step 2, review your spending through the lens of your values, goals, and priorities. So I have a whole training on this on my website that you're welcome to access, but very briefly, you go through your credit card bill or your bank statement and you say, okay, these are my essential spends, my housing, my utility bills, my insurance, whatever, all of those are necessary. And then you go through all of your discretionary spends. So these are things that you have more day-to-day, month-to-month control over. And you say, look, I have these goals, I have these values, I have these priorities. Does my spending on each of these items line up with the things that I care about? What's most important to me? And then you go through and you say, okay, how do I want to change this? Where do I want to move things? How do I want to reallocate my spending? And this becomes a good chance to think about your money holistically and how it supports those things that you desire and that you want out of life. You can think about questions such as which expenses felt aligned with who I want to be and which didn't and why. Maybe you notice patterns around stress spending, people pleasing, or denying your own pleasure and joy. I personally review our household spending about every month or two, and I've definitely noticed patterns where my husband spends on things that aren't important to me, but they are important to him. And eventually I had to come to terms with the fact that just because I valued something didn't mean that he did, and that was an opportunity for us to have better communication, for me to look more closely at my own values as well as my relationship with money and deepen our partnership as a result. So this can be a really useful exercise whether you're doing it alone or in partnership. On to step 3. Create guilt-free spending categories. Let's imagine a new budget that works for you and is designed for you. So you're still going to have your fixed costs. This is going to be your housing, transportation to get to work, bills, and your insurance costs. Then you're going to have your long-term goals, investing and debt pay down. What does future you really need you to prepare for now? What will ensure your security in the future? Intentional spending. These are about the things that give you joy, that move you closer to your goals, and all of the other spending that is aligned with who you are and who you want to be. This is the time when you can also prioritize spending that is truly aligned for you. This could be always making sure you have enough money for therapy. Maybe it's getting a house cleaner so you're not fighting with your partner or your roommate over who's going to clean the bathroom this week. Or maybe it's that solo retreat that you've always wanted to go on to better know yourself. Now you have a framework for creating your own spending plan. This is uniquely yours and designed for this one time in your life. Step 4, start tracking. This is about progress. There's no shame for past misalignment. This is also the time when you get to ask yourself, am I still pursuing these goals? Are these still my top priorities? And maybe you rearrange, maybe you reallocate, maybe something in life has shifted, maybe you're bringing in more money and so you can do other things. Over time, you'll develop a bigger picture relationship with money, and it won't be just about getting by or just making it through month to month. You'll start to reinvent your relationship with money and how it exists to help you live your dream life. Not there yet? That's totally okay. If you've been stuck in a cycle of overspending, guilt, or confusion around money, just know it's not your fault. We're stuck in a system that wasn't built for us and certainly wasn't built for it to be easy for us. If you are ready to feel calm, confident, and aligned with money, I would love to invite you to my free 3-day experience, the Aligned Money Reset. We'll blend nervous system tools, mindset work, and practical steps to help you develop a new, more expansive relationship with money. The link is below. I'll see you inside.